Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this.
All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High. And shalom and blessings, family. First of all, let me start off apologizing right off the bat. I don't want to sound rude to anybody in the room, because I'm eating. And I don't want to offend anybody if they hear me eating. A lot of times these quick hitters are done while I'm on my lunch break. So I got to try to get it in with you brothers and sisters and scarf down my food at the same time. So if hearing the sound of me eat offends you, I apologize. But also I wanted to say the brothers and sisters, we just dropped a new clothing line, Vil Drip. We wanted to make sure these shirts are good and that they're at a more affordable price than the other ones were. We're gonna handle the prices on the other ones also and make sure we can bring the prices down on those too. So that the shirts are more affordable. If you want to support the channel, and you want to support us in our endeavors towards being able to do more things for the Israelite community, please cop yourself a shirt, Vil Drip, and also Strange Fruit. For those of you who may not understand the Strange Fruit one, the Strange Fruit shirts are our take on the lynchings that happen in this country and abroad. You know, if anybody's familiar with the song Strange Fruit, it talks about, you know, black bodies swinging from the southern breeze, you know, in the horrific scenes that happened. We thought we'd flip the script and beautify our brothers and sisters that suffered, you know, those atrocities and that terrorism that continues to go on in this country against our people. So we thought we would beautify them and also take back the rainbow, which the Most High gave us as a covenant that he would never destroy the earth again by flood. So we use the rainbow in that also for those brothers and sisters who may want to understand what a rainbow is doing in that particular scenery or that particular attire. The Vil Drip, though, that's comic attire. So you're gonna see different type of shirts that'll be depicted like comic strips, but there'll be melanated people in that. It'll be our brothers and sisters portraying, whether it be superheroes or whatever. Now, moving forward. Once again, I want to say shalom and blessing to everybody in the room. What I wanted to do is I just wanted to give a quick synopsis of my take on the flea doctrine and what I experienced really early on when I found out that I was an Israelite. Now, when I came into understanding I was an Israelite, I came in by the means of the GOCC. Excuse me. May I have a napkin, please? I came in by the means of teachings of the GOCC. Now, I didn't find them online. There was actually a brother who was street preaching, and once he said what he had to say, a light bulb went off. I believe we was the Israelites right off the bat. You know, I have been questioning it for a long time anyway. You know, but so I was at that brother door for the next month, learning, finding out what it was all about. And that brother that was teaching me, this is around the time where they went to Egypt. So the brother that was teaching me, he left to Egypt. And the communication between us after he left was, hey man, you got to get out of there. Such and such is going to happen. Most High says, flee out of the midst of her. If you don't, you're going to receive other plagues. You know, and me being a babe in the understanding, you know, a babe in the truth, I've moved with haste. You know, I moved with haste, saved up some money, and me and my wife moved out to Egypt, where we stayed for about a year. Now, what I seen while I was in Egypt was a lot of disarray, a lot of confusion, a lot of people going out of the country, never even been out of the state that they was living, now moving out into another country. People not understanding that there's rules in different countries that don't really line up with the same rules that we have in America. People being disrespectful towards other people's culture and their way of life. People going out there not knowing the lick of Arabic, how to speak it. You know, people being out there not knowing how they're going to take care of themselves. And I attribute that to a lot of the people that went out there, but at the same time, when you start telling people to leave their current situation, and you start telling people to uproot themselves or advising people to uproot themselves, it's incumbent upon you to have some kind of plan. If you're saying the things that you're saying, if you're saying that they need to leave, if you're calling and blowing the trumpet, then you are a watchman. And as a watchman, you are also a leader of the people. What does that mean? That means that if you tell somebody to leave, there should be some type of plan. There should be where you're going, how you're going to get there, what you're going to do when you get there, the rules and regulations of that place that you go, how you going to survive while you out there, how much money you should save before you go out there, the type of research you need to do. You should do some research before you move out there, right? All these things wasn't foreign to me because I was in the military prior. So I've been outside of the country and I knew how to operate outside of the US and in other countries. But you can't tell people to leave if you don't have a definite plan. Now, me, would I tell people to leave? This is what I would say. When it comes to me, I would say, we're waiting on the second Exodus. I would say that the Most High is going to deliver us out of our captivity the same way that he delivered us out of Egypt. Now, what does that mean? Guess what? When they left Egypt, they fled. They left in haste. But it was by the Most High's mighty hand and stretched out arms that they left. See, the Most High has to be incorporated with that. Because when we start talking about people need to leave, there's a lot of different things that's going on here. Do people have money to leave? right? Is a person's ability to leave, is it, should it be weighed on their financial status, right? Because if we're talking about we better leave because we're going to be destroyed if we stay, there's plenty of people that's righteous that don't have the means to leave. So does that mean that the Most High is looking at them and saying, oh, because you don't have the finances, tough luck? No. The Most High will make a way for us all to leave. That's what we read in the scripture, right? We read that we are going to come out in such mass that the exodus from Egypt won't be regarded anymore. Let me see if I can grab a scripture for that real quick. So it is fleeing, but it's by the means of the Most High. It's got to be by the Most High's mighty hand and stretched out arms and fury poured out. That's what the scriptures say how he's going to bring us out of the countries. All right, so let me grab this. Uh uh okay, I believe it's in Jeremiah. It says all right. All right, so here we go. Jeremiah 23 and 7. All right. Now, this is why I believe that this fleeing is a mass exodus. This is the second exodus, but it's by the means of the Most High's mighty hand and stretched out arms. Right? Let me share my screen with you. Now, this is my perspective. This is not everybody's perspective. This is mine's. And I don't hold anybody to my perspective. This is just what I'm seeing. Jeremiah 23 and 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, said the Most High, that they should no more say the Most High liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Most High liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all the countries whither I had driven them, and they should dwell in their own land. All right. This is the Exodus. Here's another one too. It's basically saying the same thing. And it says, therefore, behold, the days come, said the Most High, they should no more say, the Most High liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Most High liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all the countries whither I had driven them, and they should dwell in their own land. Right? So, I think that's basically the same scripture, though. Yeah, it was. Sorry. But this right here tells us a couple of things. One, the land of the north is what's mentioned first. In particular, it said the land of the north, and then it said, and from all the countries whither I have driven them. So the land of the north is the epicenter of this Exodus, right? The land of the north is the epicenter of the Exodus. And also what we see is that this Exodus or this mass migration will overshadow the one that happened in Egypt. Now, by what means is this Exodus going to happen? That's the question. By what means? Are we going to get passports? Are we going to flee on our own recognizance? Or is something going to happen? All right. Now let's take a look at this. Let's take a look. How is this Exodus going to happen? How is this Exodus going to happen? Okay. Let's start with Exodus 20 and 33. I hope everybody can see this. And the subtitle says, the Most High will restore Israel. And it says, As I live, said the Most High Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people, and I will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people. Now, let me stop right there. All right. So, the Most High, mighty hand, stretched out arm, fury poured out. That is the method in which we will leave. Now, when you understand that language, when you talk about a mighty hand and stretched out arm and fury poured out, there is no shadow of a doubt that when the Most High uses this type of language, he's talking about plagues. He's talking about wars. He's talking about famine. He's talking about curses being put on the nations in order to make the people let Israel go. Right? And this wilderness of the people is obviously talking about the same wilderness like our people went into when they left Egypt. And the Most High makes that clear. And he says, and there where I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt. All right. So this is the same type of situation, right? There is no new thing under the sun. The same way the Most High brought our people out of the land of Egypt into the wilderness, then pleaded with them. When I say plead, I mean those who rebel were getting destroyed for the rebellion. And it clears itself up as we read. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of Egypt, so I plead with you, saith the Most High Elohim, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, and I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the countries where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye should know that I am the Most High. The same thing happened with our forefathers when they had to wander around in the wilderness for 40 years, right? Why? Because the Most High was purging out the rebels. And only those who had a fresh mind and obedient towards the Most High went into the land, right? It's the same thing all over again. There's no new thing under the sun. Hold on, let me get that. All right. So it says, the things that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything wherein it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. All right. There is no new thing under the sun. A lot of times people want to attribute the Most High's magnificence to man and say that the Most High is going to do this or that, and use man. The Most High don't need to use us for nothing. If the Most High wanted to, he could make the Yellowstone volcano blow up and destroy this place. I know people got to understand. If you've been looking at that, if that erupt, that's an explosion of biblical proportion. We're talking about mass extinction event, and that's something that's not going to just affect us here. That's something that cause famines in other countries just from it going off. So what we got to understand is when we start talking about fleet doctrine and things like that, if you pray to the Most High tell you that this is something that he wants you to do and you have to leave, and it's something particular that the Most High wants you to do, then who am I to stand in your way? But on the other side too, when we're talking to a group of people and we are watchmen and we give warnings to people, there has to be a lot of stipulations involved with that when you're gonna do that. And Number one stipulation should be, thus said the Most High, in comparison with the second Exodus. Is the flee doctrine the same as the second Exodus, or are they two different things? Me, I believe they're the same, one and the same. You know, when the Most High says flee, he's saying flee because he's going to make a way for us to leave. He's not saying flee, you know, on your own abilities, you know, because as the scripture said, we would come out with great substance, you know. So scripture also say they should not be ashamed that wait for him or wait on him, you know. You talk about leaving. Anybody can leave this country, you know, one or two people, but I can guarantee you that every last Israelite or so-called black person got up and decided to leave this country today, within this week, they would be shutting off the borders and saying that you cannot go. The U.S. would be saying you can't go, and wherever you're trying to go to, they'll be telling you you can't come. All right? So the Most High's mighty hand and stretched out arms is how it's going to happen. You know. Now, if anybody got any questions, I don't mind answering a few questions before I take off. I just wanted to give my perspective on that and my experience. You know. And again, I don't got anything against the GOCC. I love them brothers. That was just my experience. As unfortunate that was the experience I had, I think that there should have been a lot more oversight in that situation. You know, but I wasn't in any leadership position, so you know. Yeah, well, you know, that's true. There has to be a level of research before you leave. There has to be a level of finance saved. There has to be careful planning. You can't just get up and go to another country. You got to know how they operate in that country. You know, it's scary, man. You know, there were people leaving, and you know, some of the people that left, man, may have not even got back. You know, you don't got stuff set up in other countries for you like that. Yeah, you got to know how to operate in other places, and you know, don't. I'm not saying don't go. You know, I'm not saying that it's nothing wrong with leaving. I mean, like I said, I've been to other countries, so I know how to operate outside of the U.S. You know, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can put yourself in a deadly situation. You know, you can end up kidnapped and end up on the slave market, all kinds of stuff. You know. enjoy your trip, bro. I hope you enjoy yourself. You know. I don't know if you're going there for good or you just going to you know. Yeah, you got to be careful too. Don't do anything out of fear. You know. Don't do anything out of fear. You get scared. You know, pray to the Most High, and if the Most High say, you know, if He put it in you that you should still be doing it, then I mean, you know, who's going to stand in your way? You know. Yeah. But that's all I have to say on that. That was my experience while I was in the GOCC. You know, great brothers, great elders, you know, great teachers. You know, definitely love of Mashiach in them brothers. You know, likewise in all the camps. You know, GOCC, I don't believe they consider themselves a camp though. But regardless of that, they're out there doing the work in truth and sincerity. And you know, if you are you under them, man, you know, hopefully you're learning good. Brother Amir said, bro, Bowie said we're under the new covenant now. because it happened exactly when Valancourt was rent in Twang. How? Well, there's a little bit more to that. We start talking about the new covenant. There needs to be a level of I don't know. I think there needs to be more peer review within our community. You know, it needs to be more you know. Yo, brother Eric. Shalom and blessings, bro. Shalom and blessings. That was a good show y'all did earlier today, man. I was listening in on it, but I was at work, so I couldn't comment. But I appreciate all the work you brothers are doing, and blessings upon your family and your newborn. Brother Eric just had a new son. Yeah, blessings in unto his family, man. Me and you got to get together, man. I want to talk to you about some new designs for your shirts too. If you've seen some of the stuff that we doing, man, I mean, if you need some help on some stuff, I can help you out. We can, get you out there. But I can't wait till we can get some more lives going with you, brother. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna do a re-upload of the one that you did. I was talking to the brother earlier today about doing the re-upload of the one video you did when he was talking about when Mashiach, when the people come to Mashiach and they say, Lord, Lord. I renamed it. You had it as something else, but YouTube hated on it. They took it down. So then I re-uploaded it and I named it something else. I still got it up, but I'm gonna re-upload that joint again. That was some pertinent information in that lesson. But I want to say shalom and blessing to everybody. Your brother Bunya, I gotta get ready to go back to work. I was able to scarf down my meal while I was talking to you, and glad I was able to get some nourishment in my bones before I go back to work. Yeah, that was it. I never knew you. Yeah, that's what you called it too. As it was called. I never knew you. They was mad about that for some reason. They was big mad on it. They took your joint down right away. I think it was up for like a good hour before they just like nah. Somebody's feelings was hurt. It probably was the boy Yehuda. You know what I mean? But with that being said, I want to say shalom and blessings, Israel. Walk in faith, walk in grace, and walk in obedience. Spin your brother Bunya with another quick hitter. Shalom and blessings.